What's going on, my brother? It's been way too long since we've had one of these little heart-to-hearts, and I know what you're thinking. Why am I opening with such an outrageous title? Confessions of a Cuck. Why am I cuck? You see, I've been getting cucked by the world around me and getting cucked by the inner weakling that lives inside of me and wants to keep me stuck because he's terrified of change and he doesn't want to see me win. What do I actually mean by cucked though? Because obviously I don't mean it in the literal sense. I mean it in the sense that I have been becoming a slave to comfort yet again, and it always creeps in very gradually, like a frog being boiled so slowly that he can't even tell that the water's getting warmer. That's how it happens. So I'm just going to be going back over the patterns that led me to this point so that you don't repeat my mistakes, because there's nothing worse than making progress, feeling unstoppable, and then one little thing starts creeping in, and then another, and then another, and then another, and then bang! You don't know what went wrong, and you're sitting there scratching your ass and thinking, how did I get to this point? And I'm very, very glad that I caught it this early before I had a chance to spiral back into stagnation again. You see, it all began quite some time ago, but the accumulation only really started a couple of weeks ago, because for the past, I don't even know how long, I've made it a core part of my identity that I wake up at 4 a.m, I get straight into my morning routine, and I build momentum by stacking wins very early in the day. And that became a habit of mine for a while. And then I got sucked into the world of high ticket sales because, quite honestly, I think it's an amazing opportunity to learn some vital skills that will be with you for the rest of your life and transfer over into any entrepreneurial venture you'll ever do. Plus, it's an amazing chance to make some substantial life-changing money. And that's exactly what I need at the moment, because my biggest weakness is all financial. And money is a lagging indicator, so that just means I haven't ever put in enough effort for enough of a long period of time in order to get financially rewarded for it. That's my fault, obviously. But I decided to change that. So I got into high ticket sales. I sort of just blundered my way into it without any sort of experience in that world. I had a bit of experience in face-to-face direct sales, but it's so different, so different. And so I sort of marauded my way into this world of online high-ticket sales, and I landed an opportunity quite quickly. Again, without any real skills or experience, simply because I became the level of character that a certain group of people found appealing enough to give me a chance. And thank you for that. If you're watching, Tristan, my bro, love for that. But yeah, this unfortunately isn't the best offer for a number of reasons, but I'm not complaining because quite frankly, I don't deserve the best offer. I'm not a freaking top performing closer. I'm not even close. However, one little drawback of this offer was the fact that it's in the US time zone, which means I'm taking sales calls from 3 p.m. onwards. Meaning, most days I finished around 10, 11, sometimes 12. And so what happened? I stopped waking up at 4 a.m. I started waking up at 6 instead. And you might be thinking, hey, that's not that much of a difference. It's still early, you know, it's still not that bad. And I was still doing my morning routine, right? I was still doing the routine of making myself uncomfortable very early in the morning by going outside, doing a little bit of exercise, and then jumping into the cold plunge. But it just wasn't quite hitting the same, because those magical hours before dawn, there's something special about them. When it's still dark outside, there's no one around, it's quiet, there's something unbeatable about it. Plus, waking up at 4 a.m. never, ever feels pleasant. And the alarm never goes off at 4 a.m. and I'm like, yes, let's go. I mean, I used to feel it earlier when I used to wake up before my alarm went off. But, you know, it's never pleasant getting up at 4 a.m. Whereas 6 a.m., it's a piece of cake, honestly. You get out of bed and you immediately start off, not by stacking wins, but by being slightly comfortable. So that definitely took a bit of my edge off. So that's where all the accumulation of my stagnation started. And I know I just said some big words that might not really mean anything, but I don't really care. But yeah, well, what was I saying? It then started feeding into other habits that started deteriorating my focus, my performance, and my clarity. Because very soon after, I began freaking consuming way too much content, spending way too much time scrolling on Instagram, and just frying my brain with dopamine. Also eating slightly more garbage food, which accumulated over this past weekend, where Friday evening, Saturday and Sunday, I pigged out a lot more than I used to. And I've had enough, honestly. Because, like I say, it all begins like this. It's a very slippery slope. You start off with missing one of your good habits, and before you know it, it's like an avalanche of turds raining upon you. I'm just digging myself out of this mountain of turds because I want to reclaim the old fire that was in me just less than a month ago, when I was waking up at 4 a.m, feeling excited, feeling driven, feeling disciplined. Because this ain't it, honestly. This ain't it. And today, I won't lie to you, I feel quite good about myself at this current moment, because I started the day by stacking some pretty good wins. I woke up at 4 a.m. and got straight up, even though I had a really rough night. Had about 2 or 3 hours of sleep, not because I went to bed late, but because insomnia kept me awake, giving me all these anxious thoughts and, possible scenarios. It's just annoying, man. It's so annoying when you know you want to sleep and you know you're on the very edge of sleep, but you can't quite get there. It's so infuriating. But nonetheless, I woke up at 4 a.m, did my morning routine, and I didn't have high hopes, I'll be honest with you, because today was a 20 rep squat day. And I thought, man, I haven't slept hardly at all. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to move some baby weight, and it's going to feel like garbage. But no! I hit a 20 rep PB. I got 110 kilos for only 16 reps last week, and I literally failed on the 17th. It came clattering back down on the pins. Today, I hit 110 kilos for 20 reps, and to be honest with you, I think I could have got one more. Maybe two more. Maybe five more if I kept staying there and just breathing through the agony. Maybe. But my target was 110 for 20 reps, and I want to hit more weight next week. So I decided, for the purposes of like fatigue and whatnot, I'll just cut it there. But I'm still very happy with my sleep-deprived PR, and the rest of the workout just felt incredible. The weights were flying. I was in the zone. There was no distraction, no negativity. And then in the cardio, towards the end of my workout, I think I may have rattled a few brain cells loose, which is maybe why I'm rambling a bit. I mean, that's not really unusual, is it? I'm a bit of a rambler, if you're familiar with me. But I was doing medicine ball slams at the end of the workout, and when I was still like practicing and just feeling it out, I got a ball that was a lot bouncier than I expected. I slammed it into the ground, and what do you know? It came right back up and smacked me on the nose. It was quite a concussive blast. I'm not saying I'm concussed. I feel quite sane, relatively speaking. But it was just a banger way to end a banger workout. And I don't know why I mentioned it. I think it's just keeping in theme with coming back with a bang. Because I won't lie to you, the reason I started discussing my cuckness was because I'm getting sick of it, and I know that if I'm going to get to my goals, it's not gonna happen if I keep operating at the same level that I have been these past couple of weeks. Because it's time for some confession, right? Some even more cucky confessions. This sales stuff has been going rough. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's been really difficult. These gurus that get on their Instagram ads and they say, oh, escape the 9 to 5, work from anywhere in the world, just a few hours a day taking sales calls. Not absolute hogwash nonsense, which you probably should have expected, right? Because obviously they're marketing, they want to make it sound as easy and appealing as possible, but it's not all that. Freaking trying to convince people, especially in my niche, or I'm talking to freaking construction business owners every day, it's very hard to get them to change their beliefs and be willing to invest substantial money into a service that will massively benefit their business. Because, like I said, there's a lot of things about the offer that isn't ideal, but if I was good enough at sales, that wouldn't be a problem. I'd still come in and I'd at least get something done. But I can't lie, it's been abysmal in terms of my results. The guys I work with, funnily enough, they're very happy with me because they see how much effort I'm putting in. But I'll be honest with you, even that isn't as effective as it possibly could, because the rest of my habits in my life have started to slip a little. So this is it. I'm sick of it. I'm freaking declaring it to whoever watches this that, nah, I am freaking tired of being half reasonable. No, it's time for excellence, which means that there is no tolerance for any bad habits. Any little cope that tries to sneak its way in is unacceptable. Now, don't get me wrong, it's still probably going to happen, but I am going to have to be aware enough to snuff it out as it arises. And I know this video has been really just me just blabbing about myself, getting it off my chest, but it could be very useful for you, because you could be going through the same thing. You could have been making a lot of progress in your life, and then you might have, because you've developed into a higher level of character, you might have attracted a new opportunity that has the potential to take your life to the next level. And because of that, you've gotten complacent. You've gotten comfortable, right? Because you're like, oh, I'm the man. Look at me. I'm doing better than I was before. Let's ease off a little. Let's stop doing some of the good habits that got me there to begin with. Stop it, bro. While you have the chance, before it becomes too big of a problem, freaking clamp down on it immediately. And I think I've talked enough, because if I feel myself starting to slip. If I go on for too much longer, it's going to devolve into nonsense. So for the time being, thank you for listening. I hope you have a victorious day, brother. We'll speak soon.